this time, of course, going to go ahead and call Bell County cause number 23 DFAM 336993. This is in the interest of Bullard and Sims minor children. Non-custodial party being Brandon Bullard, custodial party being Amber Sims. This matter is before the court and appears to be before the court on still the original petition to sue the and parent-child relationship with AOP. The court will know for the record there have been several temporary orders in this matter. I think we've been currently operating under a second further temporary order affecting parent-child relationship that was done back on the 4th day of June. Both parties are properly before the court this time. So, and at that time, the court did appoint Mr. Glass as an ad litem in that further temporary order back in June. So at this time, I ask the state for an opening to tell the court what the state's requesting we do here today, whether or not both parties are present or just one, and whether or not you're requesting this to be a temporary or a final order, and what's in agreement and what is not in agreement. And then I'll get an opening statement from the ad litem to see what he wants in behalf of his clients. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The parties are both here requesting a final order. I would defer to the ad litem as far as conservatorship, possession, and access. In fact, I'll probably agree with him. I know I'll agree with him, but officially I'm deferring. The court will recall, I think the parties were, my issue here is retro. I'd be asking to finalize everything else as is. I believe the testimony they were pretty far apart. I believe Miss Sims testified that they had separated 2021, but I guess they made some sort of effort to get back together, but they were done at the end of 2022. So her time frame, the number was $3,598. And I was giving him credit for some payments that he had made. I believe Mr. Bullard's testimony was they separated in November of 2023. So there'd be no retro if the court were to use Mr. Bullard's number or the time frame. But I would ask the court to side with one of the parties or split the difference. But I'd love to have a resolution on this. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glass.
Your Honor, this is kind of a tough one. I'd like to get some evidence on and just reserve until close.
All right, thank you very much. All right, is this dad here on the iPhone with the headset on? I think he's just let back in, or is that someone else?
I believe that's him, Your Honor.
All right, then. All right, then, Mr. Bullard and Ms. Sims, I'll need you both to mute yourselves and turn your videos if you have it, Ms. Sims. And I'll need you both to swear you both in at this time. And Mr. Bullard, yeah, that's you. You need to unmute yourself, sir. Thank you. All right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Both raise your right hands, please. You both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're both officially under oath. And Mr. Bullard, you can go ahead and turn your video off. That way we may get the bandwidth may be, but without the video feed might help a little bit. So, but at this time, I'm going to go ahead and the state call you as witnesses, and then I'll let the ad litem cross-examine. At the end of the thing, either you want to tell the court, I'll let you tell the court that information. Thank you.
I'll call Amber Sims, please, Your Honor. Ms. Sims, will you state your full name?
Yes, Amber Sims.
Okay, so my issue for the court, I believe, is going to be just the retroactive support, and then Mr. Glass will probably have more in-depth questions for you.
Okay.
But it's been a while, so let's refresh the court. I believe you previously testified that, did I have it right, that you both separated in 2021, or you stopped living together in 2021, but there was some sort of effort to get back together, but that was completely done in December 2022.
Correct.
Okay. So what is the time period that you're asking the court to order the retroactive or the back child support? Are you asking it to go back to 2021? Are you asking it to go back to the first month when y'all were done, which would be
it would January. It'd be 2022 or January 2023, I guess you would say.
You're okay. All right. So, and I calculated it was minimum wage at the time. So 8 months at minimum wage would be $1,848. Is that number acceptable to you?
That's fine.
1,000 what again, please now?
$1,848, Your Honor. And I'll defer to the court as far as the repayment goes.
All right, thank you.
If the court were to use that number.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, and remind the court why were you done as of the end of 2022?
We had multiple instances of having altercations. It was it was just a conflict. And every time we would have any type of interaction or anytime he would catch wind of me moving on my life, it would always be him like popping up at my house, looking through my windows. He was like coming into the house. I had to file a bunch of police reports behind these things. So at that point, I moved and I tried to like have it to a point where he just didn't know where I lived at after that.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't want to belabor this. I'll pass the witness unless the court wants to hear more.
That's fine. We got it. All right. Your witness, Mr. Glass.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Sims. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
All right. Now, we've spoken a number of times, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
And you've kind of communicated in the past that you want Mr. Bullard to be part of the children's lives, right?
Right. Absolutely. I honestly believe that every man should have opportunity to be a part of his kid's life, regardless of him and I's relationship.
Right. And so here's where we start. And you want that. Now, he has 2 pending misdemeanors, right?
Right.
And both of those, I believe one's an assault, bodily injury, family member, and the other is an interference with a 911 call.
Correct.
Are you the victim in both of those?
Yes.
Those are currently set for October 15th for plea bargain on the record in front of Judge Depew. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of the time or the dates that he has court for him now.
And then are you aware he also has a pending felony for driving while intoxicated?
I do know about that, but I just don't know like what his court dates and stuff are. I don't know anything.
So obviously those charges present some problems as far as having possession and access with the children.
Right, absolutely.
I know we've spoken about some other moments of domestic violence. Was there a shooting?
Yeah, it was. I can explain it, but I can't say exactly it was him. I was told that he did tell me that it was him, but I guess I can't really put that on record. But it was just an incident where I was home with my significant other, and me and Brandon had just got into an argument, or he had just we had came from eating, and he pulled up to aside my truck as we pulled up, so we got out the truck. And him and my significant other had words back and forth. And after that, he left. But later on that night, we heard it like a loud banging outside. It woke everybody up in the house. So we got up, and my window was completely broken, shattered. And then when I came outside, I didn't notice it when I came outside. But later on that morning, when we came outside, I had a bullet hole in my truck door, and my window was shattered completely. It had a bullet in my window as well.
When's the last time that you saw Mr. Bullard?
The last time I saw Mr. Bullard was not too long ago, probably a couple of weeks ago.
Where was that at?
At a hotel. He was staying at a hotel, and it was I don't know if it wasn't a birthday, but he had asked for the kids, and because he had a hotel to stay in, I told him that was fine. I went and took them over there and let him keep them just for the night, and I picked them up the next day. And then I seen him another time after that. He was staying at a hotel off of Veterans Memorial. And I had right before I went to go drop my kids off at daycare, I brought them to him and let them kind of walk around in the parking lot with him. And that was the last time I seen him.
When's the last time you spoke with him?
Last time I spoke with him was yesterday. And it wasn't like a conversation. It was more of a he's been blowing up my phone a lot lately and just kind of being ignorant and just confrontation.
What's he been confrontational about?
Well, a couple of days ago, I want to say on the 20th, maybe of September, he seen me and my significant other at the Dollar General. He was I don't know, he seen us there, and then like he was standing by his car, he seen me and him going in the store, and he yelled out something. He was like, I thought you weren't talking to him anymore. And then we went into the store. My significant other came back out, but I stayed in. I said, let me just go ahead and grab what I need. Because at first I didn't see him. If I would have seen him, I wouldn't even went in the store. But we was already walking in by the time I seen him. So my significant other left out, and then he came in. I didn't say anything to him. He just came in the store being really loud and why'd you tell me you weren't talking to him again? And he was just being really loud and obnoxious. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to argue with you here. I don't have to tell you what's going on in my personal life, whatever. So then I walk out. As I'm walking up to the register, I noticed that my significant other is about to come back in the store, but Brandon is walking out the store. Now I'm at the register, so I don't know exactly what words were exchanged or what happened at that point. But then I started hearing them like fighting. It was very short-lived fight. I don't even think it really was a fight. It was just a couple of fists blown. And then next thing you know, I went out the store after purchasing my stuff, and they were just kind of talking back and forth. And then Brandon had called the police. So I told I said, just let's go. Let's get in the car and go, because it's
so. You mentioned hotels. Do you know if Mr. Bullard has a permanent residence?
I don't believe he has a permanent residence. When the first hotel initially, when he got the first hotel.
Okay, ma'am. Again, right now you've answered that question. But I'll let the Mr. Glass expand on that if he wishes. Thank you.
Okay.
So either homeless or either hotels or on the street, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Do you know if he has a job?
I don't believe he does.
Is he disabled military?
No.
Do you know if he has is he collecting money through disability any other way?
No.
And then my final question to you, do you have any protective orders that you know of?
Not that I know of right now. I haven't I know when I dealt with CPS, when my window got broken in my car, a bullet hole in my door, that he told me that he was working on the protective order, but I'm not really sure if that followed through or not, and I haven't checked to see if it had.
Is there any current involvement with CPS?
No, that case got closed.
All right. Thank you. Pass the witness.
All right. Anything on redirect, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Diamond, I'll go ahead and let you call your next witness. Mr. Bullard's muted again. But I'll ask that you stay away from anything dealing with the alleged activity that he may be going to trial for next month, because he doesn't have a plea at this point, and I don't want him incriminating himself in any manner, way, shape, or form. The only thing I'll allow you to ask is whether or not he does have a trial date, who his attorney is, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bullard, so let's again same questions to you as I asked Ms. Sims. Because it's been a couple months since we've been in front of the court, but I believe your position. I'm sorry. Let me start at the beginning. Will you state your full name, Mr. Bullard?
Brandon Maurice Bullard.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I believe previously you testified that you and Ms. Sims were together into November of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Really, January 2023.
I'm sorry, sir?
Yes, sir. You're correct.
Okay. When did you two stop living together at the end of 2022? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And not to get too personal, and certainly don't need any details. Y'all have not been intimate any time after that. Is that correct?
No, sir. It's incorrect.
Okay. Again, I don't need details.
Intimate. I want to give you the dates. Like, I have intimate sex with her just last week, just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I got proof. I submitted the documentation yesterday. I don't know why it's been not presented, and y'all haven't brought forward to the courts.
Okay. All right. I don't have a whole lot more questions than that, but do you have a trial date on the pending case?
On the failing of the misdemeanor.
Either one?
I have a trial set for January the 5th, I believe. Docket call January the 5th, and trial date set for the 10th of January, I believe, and October the 5th for the misdemeanor.
Okay. Is it the same attorney on both cases?
No, sir. I have a new attorney. The misdemeanor is Christopher White, and the other one is Anthony Smith.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your witness, Mr. Glass.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Bullard.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Am I right?
You and I have spoken a number of times, right?
Yes, sir.
And on a couple of those occasions, kind of just throwing this out there, but I don't think you've been in a real good mood or maybe had a real good place to stay, have you?
I haven't been in a good. I haven't been in a good mood, and as far as like my circumstances, plans, places to stay at, I have a place to stay at, but I just refuse to let Miss Sims know where I live at.
Little broken there, but understand that you weren't staying anywhere. Is that kind of what you were saying?
No, sir. I said I have a place of residence, but I just didn't want Miss Sims to know where I live.
Oh, okay. You did have a place of residence. You just didn't want her to know where you were living. Okay.
And then the hotel situation is only because of I was having intimate sex with her.
Okay. And where are you working?
I do landscaping. I work for Combat Muscle Fencing and Repairing Landscaping.
You and I have actually met, right?
Yes, sir.
Where did we meet?
We met at Belton Jail, or Bell County Jail.
The jail or the courthouse?
The courthouse. You know the same thing.
What were you doing up there?
I was over there. I was looking for information about my case regarding what I had going on with Miss Sims and the information that was going on with the attorney general, not attorney general, but the attorney prosecutor that's against my felony case.
You were looking for the prosecutor?
I was looking to know what was the process of my case.
Okay.
And how to suppress emotion.
Did you talk to your attorney about that?
Yes, I did. And I was advised that I can't file an emotion because I'm not a lawyer.
Right. Well, you have a lawyer. I mean, if you didn't have a lawyer, you could probably file the motions, but it's because you have a lawyer. I guess that's you and I've spoken a good bit about children needing their fathers, right?
Yes, sir.
And that it ain't going to do no good for you to go to prison and your kids still need a dad.
Yes, sir. That's the reason why when the last order was in place, I stopped contacting Miss Sims. I waited I didn't wait 3 months. 3 months passed by. She texted me, asked me. Not asked me. She told me that my daughter asked about me, and I asked to see them. So she brought them to me, and it went from there. So I went. I took upon myself, like you just said, not to add more charges to myself, not to incriminate myself, not to do anything that could jeopardize my rights and jeopardize my freedom, which is why I stopped doing what I was doing, which is why I stopped. And basically, when it comes to the end of it, is that both parties, you know what I'm saying, had do stuff, you know what I mean? But one is getting held more responsible than the other. And I feel like the other one should be held accountable because it's mischievous, it's being devious, and it's not leading somebody in the truth path.
Right. Right. That's what we've talked about, hasn't it? That's kind of
Yes,
what we
sir.
had talked about, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you ever been over to the child support office over there in Killeen?
Yes, sir. I've been to
And you heard-
several.
Go ahead.
I've been to several.
Been there several times or been to several child support offices?
I've been to several child support offices.
When was the most recent time that you went to the child support office?
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
You were kind of in a bad way, weren't you? Kind of hurting?
No, I wasn't in a bad way. I was in a bad mood
Bad mood?
because I didn't know that the order stated that I had temporary no possession of the child until I received the email wanting to go know what was going on about the order. And I noticed that it said that, and I didn't sign off to that, so it pissed me off. Yeah, you're right.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just, just got some questions. So you were pretty upset when you went over to the child support office.
Yes, sir, I was.
Anything happen over there that you think?
A lot of the police got called on me because I told them that anybody that's feeling in the mood that I'm feeling in, anybody that's getting handled and treated the way that I am, will one day go berserk and will one day do something that a lot of people ain't paying no attention to.
Maybe like hurting yourself or hurting Ms. Sims?
Oh yeah, I said, yeah, because it's psychological warfare game, you know what I mean? And it's playing with somebody's mental, not only playing with their mental, they playing with their freedom. While she's kikiing, laughing, and ha and putting things before me and showing things before me, telling me that you can't touch me and I can't do nothing to you, but you can sit here and touch me, damage my vehicle, damage my property. It's like, what's going on? What more can I do besides plead out for help? I'm not going to hurt nobody. I'm not going to hurt myself. But what I am going to do is plead out for help.
But on that day, at least, you did say things that would concern people. I mean, you were upset.
Yeah, I may have said some things that was concerning, but as I stated, the people that I was telling it to, I'm not going to do good. I know how I said it, and I know how I meant it. I said I'm just the freedom of speech. Long as I ain't go over there directly saying it, what I'm finna do. But I understand your awareness. I understand their awareness.
All right. Well, thank you.
And I honestly believe that she should be looked at thoroughly. And I honestly believe that if the courts wanted a father, you know what I mean, especially somebody like me, you know what I mean, to be in the kid's life, coming in the criminal past that I done came from, I haven't received no new charges until I met this woman. I have just recently got
Okay, sir, stop, Mr. Bullard. I don't want you to say anything that's going to that can be used later on because you got a couple of things coming up. So let's slow down a little bit, all right? I don't want this to go before the district judge. I don't want it to go before Judge DePew when you got to do your case next month. So let's not talk about anything that could be used by the county attorney or the district attorney on you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So anyway, any other questions, Mr. Glass?
No, Your Honor. I'll pass.
All right, Mr. Bullard, you have a setting next month for a plea on the misdemeanor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But it's not gonna go before that felony to everybody.
Okay, I know you said the felony is not until
So it's gonna probably get reset.
Yeah, but the misdemeanor is set for next month, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. And what was your lawyer's name again, sir?
Anthony Smith, I believe.
Okay, Anthony Smith's doing the felony. Who's doing the misdemeanor?
Christopher White.
Christopher
Mike
White.
White.
Oh, it's Michael. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
sir.
Michael. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who Christopher, but it's Mike White. All right, got it. All right then, sir. Any other? I'll be back to you in a moment. Any other questions of this witness at this time, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Glass?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Here's the thing, Mr. Bullard. I need to know what's going to happen, what the misdemeanor judge is going to do, and I may need to know what the felony judge is going to do. But I really need to know what the misdemeanor judge is going to do as far as your sentence is concerned, sir. where I can see what orders I can give you based on what that sentence is. I don't know what the Mr. White has done in your behalf. I'm not sure what the Judge Depew is going to do, but it is going to impact how I can set up everything going forward in your case concerning visitation packages and all that sort of thing. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place to make a final order in this case based on your circumstances dealing with those two matters. Those are the circumstances, so I'll have to deal with them. But what's the date of the misdemeanor again? Is that on October 15th? I'm sorry,
Yes,
what was the date? On October 15th. All right. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to closing statements by the attorneys to see what we're again. But the misdemeanor, I've got to have. I've got to know what's going to happen on that case with Mr. Bullard, and I may need to know what's going to happen in January. But for right now, I definitely need to know what's going to happen in October. So based on that, what's the state requesting, and what's the ad litem requesting?
Well, Your Honor, I think I already know the answer to my request. The state's request was for a final order. I believe that I believe the numbers are correct on the retro, and I imagine that Mr. Glass's recommendation is not going to change even if both juries walk Mr. Bullard on the pending charges because of all the stuff, the other things that have already happened. So based on that, I'd request a final order. I can understand why that doesn't make the court comfortable.
All right, Mr. Glass.
Judge, there's, obviously a lot going on in this case. I think that Mr. Bullard is working very diligently, very hard to get things on the right path. But until these cases are concluded, I really can't make a recommendation.
All right, Mr. Diamond and Mr. Bullard again. I don't want you saying anything else in addition. Ms. Sims, again, I need to know the felony one is definitely of concern because again, there's a chance that at the end of that felony, Mr. Bullard may have to do some jail time, and that definitely will impact. But I really need to know what the terms and conditions, what happens with the misdemeanor. So what I'm going to do is hold an advance on a finding. But right now, I'm going to leave the current temporary order in effect, and I'm going to ask the state. I'll ask the ad litem to get a copy from Mr. White of the final order that is that's going to be as far as the misdemeanor is concerned, and that way I can make a decision on when we need to come back and try to finalize this, at least for a further temporary order or a final order ruling based on the charges that are pending before Judge Depew, because that's the main one that is going to impact on this one. Obviously, the felony one will have some impact, but not direct impact. So, Mr.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would love to see my kids, man, and I honestly believe, sir, that everything that I have pending, everything that I have going on, what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to cooperate with the court system on going through the text and app that y'all recommended at one time, just so I can see my kids and just so I can show the courts that I am, what I'm saying? This is the part of me that I don't want to do is not be there for my kids, what I'm saying? On the circumstances of whom she may date, because I don't care about none of that. All I want to know is, like, can I be granted my access back to my kids because I didn't reach out. I didn't.
Okay, Mr. Bullard, here's the thing.
I just wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Bullard, that order that Judge Depew is going to give out may impact on your access to the kids. I don't know what she's going to do on your case, sir. It will have a direct impact. If she sets up certain things, then I've got to follow what her criteria are going forward. And I've seen these cases where what the county judge says will limit you, and I've seen cases where it won't limit you, but I don't know until I see that order, sir. Okay?
Well, yeah. Your Honor, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but sir, like when I'm like it's making it hard, you know what I mean? Because of the simple fact of like this court appearance is not going to happen. Not to saying that I'm gonna get found guilty, you know what I'm saying? But this is going on 3 years. This is going on 4 years. It's going to be in 2025 when I start the felony case. And this is what I mean. It's like the more time I get delayed on these factors, the more time I get delayed from seeing my kids the rightful way that I should be. I just gave this lady $400 last week, 2 weeks ago, just to see my kids. She didn't even mention that to y'all. And I'm like,
okay.
And sir, Mr. Nelson, I've been doing.
Mr. Bullard, stop, sir. You heard what I explained to you. Judge Depew is going to issue an order that directly impacts on how I have to set up your visitation, sir. You know, that's just the way it works, sir. I gotta wait for her to make that order. I know, I understand your frustration, but sir, you know, these are the circumstances you're in. You have a lawyer, you're going before the county judge, and what she says is going to have some impact, have an impact on what I can set up. And I don't know the future.
Sir, Mr. Nelson, Judge Nelson, sir, I was just attacked last Friday.
Okay.
I'm like,
all that's ancillary. What I need to know is what the county judge is going to do in the pending charges that you have against you, sir. I've got to know.
All right. So, am I able to see my kids?
Until I know what that order says, sir, I cannot change anything in the temporary order, sir. Once I get a copy of that, I can look at making another order, or I can look at changing that order, or I can make up set up having a hearing. But I need to see what happens with your on that misdemeanor charge, sir.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Just
I'm not done talking, man.
I just wanted to know, like, if at some point before our next court date, if I'm allowed to meet him at the park on a day or something, if he wants to just see them.
I'm not meeting you nowhere. I'm not meeting you nowhere.
Okay, and that's fine. I just wanted to ask because he's going to ask me, so I just wanted to ask.
Now, right now, everything is left at your sole discretion. All right, until I get a copy of what Judge Depew does. All right, it's left up to you. But he says he's not going to want to meet with you.
Yeah, that's fine too.
All right.
All right.
All right, then. The matter is set.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
He cut me off before I even got done talking. So the order with temporary non-possession, and she can bring children, and I got them. Is that violating the order?
Right now, sir, everything is left until we have an order that is left up to the mother's sole discretion, sir.
All right, that's clarification.
All right, then, Mr. Glass, I'll ask you to get a copy of that order as soon as possible so I can see what it says and see about setting up another temporary. I don't want to set up a hearing until I know that matter is going to go to final on October 15th, just in case it gets kicked. But I'll ask you to send to Belinda an email telling her that it did go to final and a copy of the order. And once I get that, then I can see about making further temporary orders or setting up a further temporary order hearing. So,
yes, sir. Ask one more thing, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. What's your question, Mr. Bullard?
Why is nothing that I presented yesterday, like to the child support attorney's office? I submitted photos, I submitted text messages, I submitted all these things that's going on between me and her, and nothing that I submitted is being said in this courtroom today.
All right.
Those are old, Brandon.
Stop. Mr. Sims, don't interfere. First off, the Attorney General's office doesn't represent you, sir. They don't have to present anything that they don't want to present, sir. That's left up to them what they present one way or the other. If you want something presented in your behest, then you have to get your own lawyer or your own counsel to set that up for you, sir.
So I can't represent myself in this case?
Yes, sir, you can, but you don't unless you know how the Texas rules of civil procedure work. Right now you have not presented anything that I could take into evidence. And again, sir, until you get that taken care of, they can't even cross-examine you on certain things. So, but right now, you either need a lawyer or you need to learn. You'll have to know how to do it yourself, sir.
Well, sir, I appreciate that information, and I will be doing it. I do know how to suppress evidence.
Okay, well, right now there's no, well,
Yeah, of course you ain't gonna have none because you just said that neither party is going to present their evidence because they're not for me, they're for the kids and her.
Yes, sir. You're allowed to present evidence that you think is pertinent, sir, but you're held to the standards of a lawyer of being able to get it into evidence. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyway, Mr. Glass is going to get me that data. I'll let you know what the next hearing is going to be. And again, I'm not really looking at that the felony that's been set out in January of next year. But the hearing you have next month is the most impactful on this case. So anyway,
what if I don't go to court?
I'm sorry.
What if I don't go to court? What if it get reset?
That's why I'm waiting to see what happens one way or the other, sir. That's why
it's going to get reset, sir.
I'm sorry. Which one is going to get reset? So you got two cases.
The misdemeanor. The misdemeanor is not going to go before no felony. That's why I keep getting pushed back. Every court date.
So you just said something that's totally not. You have two separate cases. The misdemeanor is set for next month on October 15th. That's what I'm waiting for, sir. If it's not going to go, then I got to still wait. I got to wait till it goes. That's why I'm not setting anything till I see whether or not you actually have a final hearing or final order on October 15th.
That's what I mean, sir. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay. I understand what you're saying. It's not going to happen, so I'm not even going to worry about it.
Okay. All right. But anyway, right now that's what it's set for, and and Mr. Glass will report to me whether or not it goes. All right. All right, then, Mr. Thomas, I'll wait for that information, and then I'll do an order resetting once I have that information. All right. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Glass?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Sims?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Bullard. Anything else, sir?
Really can't do too much, can I?
Okay. All right, then, sir. We'll see you. I'll wait till I get the data, and you'll be notified when the reset is, sir. Thank you very much, and we're off the record.